Namaste everyone. Welcome to Psychic Thripudi 333. I'm Dr. Titty Varghese. In today's episode, I would like to invite Dr. Vishnu Muraleedharan, political scientist, to speak about various linguistic and religious relationship between Northern European Union country Lithuania and India. Lithuanian language is known as one of the oldest Indo-European language. From India, there are various words that are quite similar with the Lithuanian words, or vice versa. Dr. Vishnu Muraleedharan is an eminent scholar in the field of political sciences. His main research area is migration, public policy, public administration, and media studies. I would like to welcome Dr. Vishnu to this channel to speak about enlightening topics and share information with all of us. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Stay blessed.
Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Psychic Tripudi 333. So today I am talking about the connections between Lithuania and India and how these two countries in two different geographical locations get connected to each other. So first of all, I am Dr. Vishnu Muraleedharan and I am a researcher in the field of political science, specializing on the aspect of migration. I was always curious regarding the aspect of migration, how human communities migrate from one place to another place. In the modern times, we know that these are due to various circumstances like war, internal rebellion, conflicts, lack of resources, and also the looking for skilled employment in another part of the world. So these are the common things which we know about migration in the recent times. But what was the reason for the migration during the ancient period, especially 2000 to 3000 years before? Why people migrated from one place to another? How people from Europe moved to India, to the Indian subcontinent, especially in the Gangetic plains of India. So here we can see that there was a movement which happened, even though there are only conspiracy theories and we don't have sufficient documents or historical evidences to prove that the reason for this migration, but we know that there was a migration which happened from Europe, especially from the northern and eastern part of Europe till the borders of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan to India. Maybe they took the route through Asia, through which the ancient Silk Route also happened. So here I was always thinking how this migration happened and what was the reason, and how this historical connectivity happened between India and Europe. So today I am looking into the specific case of Lithuania, a small country in the Europe near the Baltic Sea. So we call them Baltic sisters along with their two other countries, Latvia and Estonia. So these three countries are known as Baltic sisters, and these three countries along with the 5 Scandinavian countries comprises the Northern Europe. So these 8 countries are belonging to the Northern European context of the Europe. So here Lithuania, it's one of the oldest Indo-European languages they have, and it is known as Lithuanian, their local language, and which is having a great significance because it is one of the oldest Indo-European languages with more than 1000 years of heritage without much fabrications. So regarding this language connectivity also, we don't have clear evidences to state that how this connectivity happened between Sanskrit, the mother of all languages and one of the oldest Indo-European languages, with Lithuanian. So only thing is that there was research happened and there is research still going on looking into the historical connections between Lithuanian and Sanskrit. So one of the significant development in this phase is that the Vilnius University in Lithuania, in its capital Vilnius, which is one of the oldest working universities with a heritage of more than 500 years, and it is one of the oldest working universities. So they comprise the dictionary of both the connectivity between Lithuanian and Sanskrit, and they have comprised a dictionary compiling of words more than 10,000 words. So some of the similar words like Shakas, Deva, Agni. So these are some of the common words which can connect each other. Another significant aspect with the connections between Lithuanian and India is the religion. So before the advent of the Christianity into Europe and before the advent of the Christianity into Lithuanian, various European countries have their own cultural and religious beliefs which are localized to each other. And another significant aspect about Lithuania is that it was the last country to be Christianized in the context of Europe, as it was resisting the Christian arrival till 1500. So during that medieval times, Lithuania had one of the oldest empire of Europe in collaboration with Poland, and it was extending from the Baltic Sea till Black Sea. So it was one of the oldest and most glorious empire happened in the European context. And about the religion, Lithuania, like I said, have its own local religious gods and customs and practices. And if we look with the connection with India, like the Indian context, we have Trinity, that is Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. Lithuania also have its Trinity form of gods in the pagan system. So they call them Patrimbas, Perkunas and Poklias. Once I visited his art gallery, he showed his exhibition of various paintings and especially his focus on the pagan religious forms and its connectivity with India. So he even gifted me this Trinity form of pagan system of gods in Lithuania. So he stated that, and he explained that Patrimbas is equated to Lord Brahma, which is the Lord of creation with a green clothing, and he have a crown with grains on his head. That shows that he is the God of creation, the God from which everything comes to this world. All the things comes to this world. And the second, in the middle, the God is Perkunas, which can be equated to Lord Vishnu, which is the God of preservation and which helps and protects everything. And Perkunas have a golden colored dressing with flames of fire glowing over his head. So the third at the end is Poklius. He is dressed in black color with a sharp face, and he stated that this is the god of destruction. So like in India, we have Trinity, which consists of creation, preservation and destruction. Here also they have this Trinity form of god system. So this also we can see that together with the language, Lithuanian religion also have a great connectivity with the Indian religious forms, and maybe they have taken these god forms when they migrated to India, or from the Eastern European or Northern European people when they migrated to India. Here one of the significant aspects which we have to consider is that before the advent of the Aryans, the local community or the local population in India was Harappan civilization or the localized indigenous civilization, and we know that most of their developments were amazing and astonishing because at that time, more than 5,000 years, it was one of the oldest and advanced civilization at that time. Even they have burnt bricks, they have roads which have proper drainage system and buildings with double story. One of the significant aspect is that even though they have all these advanced mechanisms, there was a lack of any customs of religious deities. Here we can see that the Harappan civilization lost its vigor during the time of 1700, as it was the period of late Harappans, which finally vanished from this Indian subcontinent. So it was the period of 200 years of gap in which in 1500 the advent of Aryans came to India, which have any historical and scientific proof. So here we can see that with the advent of the Aryans, the kind of god forms came to have his connectivity in the Indian subcontinent, because still now with any archaeological evidence, we don't have an exact confirmation there was any form of god system in the Harappan or Indus Valley civilization. But we know that with the coming of the Aryans and their compilation of the Vedic texts like Rig Veda, we know that they have mentioned about the god forms, especially in Rig Veda, it was the most prominent god was Lord Indra, which in the later Vedic period got not much predominance, and in that period the most significant forms of gods were Shiva and Vishnu. So here we can see that maybe this community, when they migrated to India, they brought with them along their cultural attributes and their religious inclination. So maybe that is the similarity which we can see in both this Indo-European context of language similarity and the religious similarity. Another significant aspect is that once I visited a museum, I can see the correlation between the Lithuanian the medieval kings and their connectivity with India, we can see that these kings have same kind of dressing attributes, and also the way their horses were dressed together with the dhoja or like the flag, which can be seen in the Aryan context of India, especially during the times of ancient royal systems. So this also can be seen as the similarity between these two cultural contexts. So while I was having this curiosity regarding how these cultural connections happen between Europe and India, one of the significant aspects which got my attention was a news narrative by the New Indian Express in 2012, in which Dr. Shyamalan, who is a famous and prominent doctor based in the United States, and he is best known for the works of his son Manoj Knight Shyamalan. He is a famous film director in the United States, who is known for the films like The Last Airbender, The Sixth Sense, The Signs, etc. So his films look into the aspect of paranormal and also the aspect of various supernatural concepts interlinked into the modern technological and modern era. So this person, Dr. Shyamalan, he was always looking and inquiring regarding the connections between Europe and India, and Dr. Shyamalan made an analysis of whether there is any genetic connectivity between the European genes and with the Indian genes. So he experimented himself regarding the connectivity, and he found that majority of his genes have a correlation with the people from Kyrgyzstan. That means he believed that his community and people have a connection with Eastern Europe. So this also shows that there was migration, and this migration happened between Eastern Europe to India. So thus I would like to conclude that the country where I am living and the country which I love have a great historical connectivity with the Indian subcontinent, especially with India, and there need to be further deeper explorations to be conducted and research to be conducted in order to understand these cultural affinity and connections and how Lithuania and India are connected to each other. So thank you very much for listening to my insights, and have a nice day, and I will come with much more further interesting topics to you. Thank you.